Hey, what's up, guys? What is going to be following here is just a quick read through of the second Balance Manifesto. I did not have a chance to read the first Balance Manifesto on stream. Quick little short summary on that one, I guess, is ailment avoidance looks like it's much easier to get. Flasks are going to be very, very strong. Very excited for that. There's my quick summary on that one. The second Balance Manifesto, what follows now, will be a full read through of it on stream. It's uncut. It's just what I did on stream if you weren't able to catch that, or if you want to use it as a reference to check out later. Quick little thoughts and summaries right now, before you get into like all the nitty gritty and the details, is they looks like they're going to accomplish their overarching goal, which is take the very specific defenses that are kind of cordoned off into certain ascendancies or very specific locations, like stacking dodge, adding in blind, doing things like Wind Dancer, and kind of spreading out the potential for defense, as well as raising how high we can get our defenses with very good drops. They are also encouraging more chasing of items by setting a random factor in terms of the amount of defense on the base types of what drops, which is interesting. Think about different uniques dropping. There's going to be an imperfect shavs and a perfect shavs. There's going to be some really interesting variance in there that is locked in the item that you can't reroll with a divine or a blessing. And we're really going to have to rethink about how we rebuild our defenses in the game moving forward. I'm really excited about it. I think overall it's really, really positive. The one thing that feels like it might be a little bit too much we will see is hybrid energy shield based builds. The buff to Wicked Ward specifically looks pretty bonkers. There's very, very little downside to it now, and stacking ES seems out of control, but we're going to see how the numbers shake out. But you can just follow along in the video and see how I react to reading through all those things. I try to go into a little bit more detail using my perspective as someone who worked in the game industry for over 10 years and shipped games and maintained live service games and did all that. Hopefully my perspective can add something a little unique and different than other content creators. Also, quick little announcement as well. Friday morning, October 8th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be giving a Path of Exile University presentation on build creation on Zizaran's channel. So I am very, very excited about that. That's actually what I am working on primarily this week. So stay tuned, definitely tune into his stream and show him a lot of love about the community that we've built here. That's really awesome. As always, thank you guys for subscribing, liking, and everything, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, so Path of Exile 3.16 Balance. Part 2, Core Character Defenses and Recovery. In the upcoming expansion, blobbity blobbity blah, blobbity blah. Tomorrow they're talking about auras and curses. And we've selected the same thing as yesterday. They're going to show problems and then the intended solutions. So let's go. Core character defense and recovery. We're doing a major balance path to improve defenses and recovery for all characters. The goal here is to put more power into the core defenses, armor, evasion, and energy shield. That's good. Evasion is big sag right now. Armor and evasion specifically. Energy shield. I mean, energy shield is whatever, but that I do think that's interesting that that's called out as well. To make them the best way to mitigate the kind of damage they are best at preventing, while taking away some of the power from one-off mechanics that provide a significant defense for two loca. Oh, Wind Dancer shaking in his boots. While some individual mechanics have been nerfed, this is an overall massive buff to defenses across the board. Yo, what's up, Top? Top and Kivu, how you guys doing? Previously, there were some very tanky characters, but they were gated behind specific niche mechanics and uniques that were not accessible to everyone. What we're doing here is moving a lot of the power to everyone else. Blah, blah, blah. So we're making sure that every type of character has plenty of ways to mitigate a much more diverse set of damage types. For example, evasion mitigates attacks well, so we're introducing spell suppression to help evasion builds protect themselves against spells. Dodge and blind provide more mitigation for fewer passive points and item slots than any other defense type. Attack dodge does this in a form that is almost identical to evasion, but is far more efficient. Remove dodge entirely and review certain powerful mechanics like blind and fortify for non-melee characters. Improve almost every other scalable defense type significantly to make them more powerful. This includes armor, evasion, ES recovery, and spell block. Okay. All right. That's this will be interesting. It's different. Armor as a core stat doesn't provide sufficient defense with low to medium investment. Armor characters instead rely on a number of other mechanics to provide them with the defense against physical damage that armor is meant to provide. Solution: improve the armor formula so that's more powerful across the board. And increase the strength of modifiers that add base local armor. Specifics. Previously, interesting that there's no specifics for this one. Remove dodge, review blind, improve everything else. Okay. So this is the top, the overarching problem. Gotcha. All right. Previously, if you had 10,000 armor and you took a hit that dealt 2,000 damage, that you'd reduce that hit by 20%. Now you reduce it by 33%. A rule of thumb with the new armor formula is that if you want to get 50% mitigation, you need 5 times the damage as armor, where it previously required 10 times the damage. If you want to mitigate a 5,000 hit down to 2,500, you need 50,000 armor to do this. Now you only need half of that. Increased the strength of modifiers that add base local armor and added a smoother progression of tiers, as they were currently very low until the highest tier. Okay, this will on average result in arms with higher armor. Armor provided by base types can now be up to 10% higher as part of a variable base type system. Are they going to do that with everything, with evasion and stuff too? Determination has been buffed to provide both a flat bonus to armor as well as existing more multiplier. Grants 2051 at level 20. New suffix have been added. Up to plus 8% additional physical damage reduction on each slot. Okay. New suffix modifiers have been added to all armor-based blah, blah, blah that provide increased life regen. This works as a multiplier. Ooh. Okay. Review monster base armor as a result of changes. This may result in no changes. Okay. Problem. Evasion sucks. Instead, evasive characters use phase aggro. That's true. Yes. Solution. Remove attack dodge entirely. Substantially buff evasion. So it's a good option. Spoiler. All right, let's see. To have a 75% chance to evade, you need 49,000. After this, you need less than half. To have a 75% chance to evade against a tier 1 monster, you currently need 23,000. And then you only need half. 24. Actually, okay, no, it actually scales better at high values. So this is less than half, right? 24,200 is less than half of 49,000. Whereas 12,700 is more than half of 23,800. So it actually scales better at higher values against higher tier monsters as well. To have a 50% chance to evade against a tier 16 map monster, you currently need 13,750. You only need 8,000, but only, yeah, oh wow, okay. All right, so it's smoothing it out, but it's still interesting, right? So this is more than half, right? So you still need at the low end, but so if you wanted to get like 75% dodge, or sorry, evasion, it scales better for you. But if you want 50%, it does scale. It's better, right? But it's not as smooth of a. Yo, Santori. Daily Santorsi, stay a while and listen. Thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub.
Crossbow? Pew, pew, pew.
To Geo Team. Yo, and Toto, thanks for following. Welcome, everybody. Yo, and Z Nicked.
Come out, horsies.
Yo, cheers, Nicked. Thanks for the Twitch Prime. Cheers, man. All right. Okay, so it's basically this is what it's looking at right now, right? Like if we say like boom, the amount of evasion that you need for like this is for 75% of it. This is this is the worst graph ever, right? Or let's say this. This is for 50% right here, and then this is for 75 right here, right? So currently for for 50, you got to do that much, and then after the change for 50, you're going to be able to do, it'll be more than half. It'll be like this, right? It'll be like 2/3 ish. But for 75 dodge, 75 dodge, it's currently, or evasion. I keep saying dodge. Looks like this, but after, it's actually going to be straight up, like it's actually less than half. It's actually like 40%. That's incredible. Like these are not absolute scales, obviously. these are don't put these on the same scale, of course. But in terms of percentage, this is about what it's going to look like. And like this is a big win, actually. That's pretty awesome. Okay. Evasion provided by base types can now be up to 10% higher. Okay, they're doing the exact same thing. Same thing. The Grace skill gem now has 20% more evasion at level 1, 29% at level 20, as well as this existing flat bonus. These changes make the aura very effective at attack mitigation if you've already invested in evasion rating, reworked evasive passives. Adjusted monster base evasion, blah, 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 blah. I'm still not going to use a 50% reservation for attack evasion, but cool. I'm a little curious what they're doing with the auras. What's the big changes that they're going to do for aura stacking, right? Okay. Problem. Evasion does nothing against spells. Introduce spell suppression on evasion items, as well as the dexterity section of the passive tree, which gives a chance to have spell damage taken. The chance can be stacked up to 100%. Convert existing sources of dodge and spell dodge to spell suppression. Okay. Spell suppression is assigned as dexterity, blah, 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 blah. In general, gives easier access. Is also much more reliable than spell dodge, but has a lower maximum. There will be a few specialized ways to invest in increasing the spell damage suppressed to reward high investment if you want to further protect yourself from spell hits. Spell suppression will be found on various passive skills in the evasion areas of the passive skill tree. The evasion wheel at the center of the passive skill tree no longer provides accuracy, but provides a combo of evasion and a chance to suppress skills. Oh, interesting. New suffix modifiers have been added for suppress spell damage. Body armor and shield can roll large values. New keystone passive added to the center called Magebane. Dexterity provides no inherent bonus to evasion. You gain a 1% chance to suppress spell damage per 15 dex. Oh. Okay. Can you combine that with Iron Grip or Iron Will, whatever it's called? That interesting. All right. Fall Grace no longer has chance to dodge attack hits or spell hits. Instead, it gives a 15% chance to evade. And suppress spell damage dealt to you is unlucky. Yeah. Interesting. Additional chance to evade monsters were discontinued from all rare modifiers, passives, and pantheon values, as their values are generally too low. Yeah, no one cared. Change elusive to provide 15% chance to avoid damage from hits instead of its old dodge-related stats. Okay. I had a feeling they had to change Wind Dancer for this, right? Change Wind Dancer to further improve high evasion builds rather than reducing evade chance, but making it riskier if you're not evading a lot. It now gives less attack damage taken if you haven't been hit by an attack recently. Oh, and more evasion rating attack damage taken if you have been hit. It has no interaction with spells now. This is going to be interesting. Spell suppression is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. Acrobatics has been redesigned, but now changes any modifiers to spell suppression into spell dodge at 50% of its value. The intention is that Acro is the only source in the entire game for spell dodge. Spell dodge is capped at 75%, and the Keystone passive will Phase Acro no longer exists. Many other smaller changes. What are they going to do with Quartz Infusion? Right? Just is it going to be like 15% evasion and 50% spell suppression probably? Maybe? Okay. Interesting. This is a gigantic nerf. Yeah, I think this is straight up a big nerf to Wind Dancer. Over the initial thoughts right now, this is a pretty big nerf to Raider. This is a pretty big, like Raider is she's incredibly tanky if you build it properly with enough dodge. This overall feels a bit okay. All right. Problem: due to armor and evasion not working effectively as primary defenses provided, we've introduced a lot of mechanics over the years to either scale them too efficiently or scale off them too efficiently or not well enough. The intention would be that the straightforward way of getting armor evasions is the best way to maximize efficacy. Review all mechanics that scale it and all mechanics that grant large values. Ball RF now grants plus 50 armor up to 858. Okay. No longer gives you more armor. Now grants... Okay, Volmorton Shell is nerfed. Brass Dome, unique, is being redesigned to more... So, like, it doesn't, like, nerfed, right? Like, armor does more now, right? So, but not granting 29% more armor for a high armor build, that does feel like a nerf. Unique is... Brass Dome, unique is being redesigned to more properly embrace its identity while not providing as extreme a difference compared to a rare body armor. Memory Vault. Instead, game armor equal to your reserve mana. Instead, grants 1% increased armor per 50 reserve mana. Okay. All right. Whatever. Formless Flame and Formless Inferno now grant armors increased by overcapped fire res. That's a nerf? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, they just want to move it away from uniques. So these are all nerfs, right? Transcendence, nerfed. They're not giving a number, but they're saying it's nerfed. Master Tribunal. Instead of 46% increased damage per 100 strength, 1% chance to block per 100 strength. That's a nerf. I mean, depending on what your build is. Average of the Chase, okay. No longer grants 35% more evasion or 35% more evasion. Instead, grants 10% more evasion. What? Oh no! Okay, no, it's just a nerf. Got it. So yeah, I mean, what it is, right? Like the problem is, they're nerfing. These are all nerfs. These are just nerfs, right? They want to remove all of they scale down everything that increases those numbers, and they want to increase the base numbers that you get from your gear. So yeah, I don't know why I'm surprised that each one of these is such a gigantic nerf. Willow Gift. I don't even know what Willow Gift is. No longer grants Fortify. Oh, because it is something with Fortify. You create instead grants 30% more evasion. Now grants 4% chance to suppress spell damage per fortification. Oh ho ho ho! Per fortification, we got something coming down the pipe. Existing items will no longer provide evasion rating while you have Fortify, though you'll need to use a Divine Orb to obtain spell suppression. Nicked, Proj Evasion, now it's General Evasion. Are you talking about the Avatar Chase? Avatar Chase has 2 lines right now. Yeah, it has 2 lines. It has melee and projectile. And now it's just attacks. They're just consolidating it and dropping the number down. Yeah, if you look at it right now, yeah, there's 2 lines on it right now. So it's going to 10% now. I mean, I take it for the speed anyway, but interesting. All right. Characters who rely solely on armor are not protected against elemental damage. Add more max elemental res to areas of the passive tree that have armor in them. More info later. Okay. Interesting. They're going to give us more ways to get max ele res. That's big. That's actually big. The Veil modifier that increases quality on equipment was required to max energy shield. This is a problem because you cannot pick up the best energy shield items off the ground. Second problem, stacking the energy from not notable passive on cluster jewels was too efficient as a way to max your energy shield. Solution, replace the Veil modifier and lower the power on energy from not. Compensate all characters for the loss of maximum energy shield by increasing the strength of the base types. Add more ES to the passive skill tree. So here's the thing. Here is the thing. Gear. So here you have to think of this like outside of a vacuum, right? Gear already, and also think about suffixes. We're thinking about suffixes and prefixes, right? Suffixes are generally the easier ones to put something on, to add something to something. And by them kind of futzing with that and trying to remove the power of suffixes that we can play with, right? Like the flexibility of suffixes, things like that. And it makes sense, right? Like currently suffixes are kind of like they're generally kind of a slushy part in the gear that you have a little bit more flexibility with. By shifting, especially some of our defenses, to looking into the suffixes for trying to stay alive, / forcing us to do more things on the passive tree. You do have to realize that when something takes, it also giveth, or vice versa, right? So this is really, really interesting, actually. Okay. So yeah, like be aware, like we are not in a vacuum, right? Think about what suffixes mean to you in your gear. You know, think about like earlier, right? There was something about like life regen as a suffix, or physical damage reduction on a suffix, or spell suppression as a suffix. Right now, that's where you get your resistances, right? That's where you you think of, I have these open suffixes on my rings. I have open suffix on my body armor. I hope after my woke orb, I can do prefixes can't be changed, reforge fire, get my fire res good to go. If that is now a more valuable slot for you to have your necessary defense, it's interesting. There might be a little bit more contention there, which is possibly a good thing in terms of balance, right? Like the fun of balance and putting a build together is about making sure that everything is balanced and fits together in a cohesive whole and feels really good. But you have to be careful. Be very careful. So we're gonna see how this plays out. All right. With the desire to increase all of the power across the board, we felt the base values on items were too low. We feel our initial item system needs more base type heterogeneity. Okay. Base types are now generated with a random up to 10% higher base defense as an inbuilt, currently non-modifiable property. So non-modifiable is weird. So I saw someone say this in Discord. I caught that right when I was going live. So this is the real weird thing, right? That has me thinking. The actual bases, so they're trying to make it more less homogeneous, right? So currently, all Val Regalias, like eye level 86 Val Regalia, it has a fixed value, right? Now you're going to be looking for white. If you want to craft the big boy item, you're going to be looking for those random drops. It makes sense, right? Chris talks about this is a way that they want to make drops have value. Those chase items, right? A perfectly rolled, because if you can't modify it, right, you have to pick it up perfectly. A perfectly rolled eye level 86 Val Regalia is going to be worth more than a bottom rolled eye level 86 Val Regalia. They are no longer the same. you are going to want to keep base types on your item filter longer as a consequence of this. So this is going to be interesting, right? Like actually getting like you might leave white Val Regalias on your loot filter the entire league because it might be rare enough, and it may even be weighted, right? So if the value is between 600 and 800 ES, a perfect 800 ES, I mean 100 and 200, right? A perfect white Val Regalia eye level 86 with 200 base ES that may be worth an Exalt, even late league, because people want those like really, really valuable base items to craft off of. That's very interesting. That's very, very interesting. I think this, it's gonna be nice for everything, but specifically for ES people, that want to show off on PoE Ninja, there's a lot of value in that. Well, the thing is, Diablo, people are gonna pick up whites if a perfectly rolled eye level 86 Val Regalia is worth 5x, people are gonna pick them up. Now the other question is, can I? Are they giving me a? And someone's gonna have to ask Neversink, and when this all comes out, if this is a thing that he can quickly add in, can I add another property on my loot filter for what is the base amount of energy shield, armor, or evasion on that item? I may want to pick up ones that are within a certain value. I don't want to mouse over and look for every, right? So can I put that on my loot filter? Very good question. Yeah, so that's a very good question for Neversink. And hopefully Neversink can ask GGG for that, because I don't want to hold Alt and mouse over every single Val Regalia that hits the ground, right? All right, energy shield, yeah, variance of 20%, so it's even crazier. Yeah, it's not going to be like exactly, Sailkite. It's not going to be like a night and day difference specifically for, like, no one cares about the amount of, like, if the armor or evasion, even after these changes, if the armor or evasion on your body armor is, 2000 or 2050, right? But do you know what people do care about? Those really high ES numbers, right? Those really high ES numbers are going to be very, very important, right? Because if you break 800 ES, people sort by max ES on my body armor when I'm trying to buy something, and those big numbers, we can just go to poe.sale, right? And we say Val Regalia, and we say eye level 86, search, and then we sort by ES. When you get to the big boy stuff, you hit those special numbers, right? Like I have the, Forbidden Trove is doing mirror service, right? Because they hit 842 ES. However, this guy at 832, 70 exalts, right? Just by having that perfect item turns into mirror service, right? So there's, that little, obviously it's got the elevated whatever on it and stuff too, but those things matter. Those little tiny things will matter at the high end for people selling stuff. All right. What is next? All right. Energy Shield is most often used with Leech and Regeneration like life rather than embracing its unique recharge mechanic. Yeah, because recharge sucks. Increase the base recovery rate of recharge. Rework the downside of Wicked Ward. Yeah, no kidding. You basically removed Wicked Ward from the game when you pulled it out of Occultist, you ding-dongs. That was one of the moves where I was just like, this makes no sense. Move improvements to Energy Shield recharge to the core modifier pool for ES gear. Yep, instead of just being like 2 little mods on rings. Yep. Currently, it's very, very hard to stack ES recharge rate. There's only a few places to put it. Energy Shield now recharges at a base amount of 33% per second. Wicked Ward no longer grants 50% less regen rate or 50% less recovery per second. Instead, it now grants 40% less recharge rate, and it doesn't stop Leech. This brings the recharge rate down to 19.8%, while before it would have been 20% with or without the Keystone. And it will allow you to invest in other forms of recovery if you'd like to, like including ES Leech into your build. Recharge also has more avenues of scaling as mentioned below. This combined with the faster natural recharge is almost entirely a buff. Yeah. Yep. I think that's, I think Wicked Ward may now have value because you can actually leech with it as well. Yep, that totally makes sense. New suffix modifiers have been added to all ES-based bodied armors and shields that provide 66% faster start. Ooh, that is pretty nutty. So body armor and shield, right? If you have two, and there's currently, I think it's 20% on rings. Open all groups, recharge. Faster start of ES recharge currently goes up to 24%. So you can get 48% currently on rings with another 66 plus 66%. That's a little recharge-a-rooney right there, folks. Okay. Would you transition Bane Occultist to CI? No. There's no reason, unless they remove Chaos Res from the game, right? There's no reason. Like, if you have 76 Chaos Res already, Cheese., there's just no reason for CI. The main reason, here's the thing, is if you're a Chaos Occultist, unless you specifically, if you're like self-casting Forbidden Rite or something, because of Withering Presence giving you 60% Chaos Res, unless you have a very, very good reason, their CI is just a waste. That is my belief. Crafted and influenced, faster start can no longer be, oh. All right, the modifier on rings can no longer be obtained. Okay. I should have read the next line before. All right. Faster start of energy shield recharge has also been added to the passive tree where ES is found. Okay. And then other crafted modifiers have been added. 0.8 seconds at 150%. That's pretty nice. Yeah, if you can just stop being hit for like that. And with, being able to be immune to ignite and everything right now, pretty easy. Faster start of energy shield recharge has also been added to the passive tree. New suffix has been added to ES-based gloves that provide up to 38% increased recharge rate. All right, so you can get really, really high. All right, so we got 66, 66. All right, so 120, 132.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yo, Petite Popeye, thanks for following. So we got 132, and then you can get, on gloves, another 38. All right, percent ES regen modifiers can no longer be obtained and are no longer in the influence modifier pool. That's fine. Those were always pretty weak. The Ghost Reaver now prevents your ES from recharging. Previously 50% res rate. Huh. They really, let me just refresh my memory here. Yeah, Ghost Reaver is this one, right? Yeah, it's for the Leech. So yeah. Okay. I mean, so I assume you can still use ES Leech support gem though. So you don't need Ghost Reaver, you can use ES Leech. Okay. The Crusader modifier for gloves that provides increased maximum total energy shield recovery per second from Leech. Do you want to know why Path of Exile turns people off? Hey, what's the modifier that... So I really want to make my build a little bit stronger, right? So I've had some issues. I'm a CI-based build, and I'm trying to Leech here, and I really want to, just get more Leech, right? And I feel like I'm not able, I'm hitting some cap or something, and I just can't Leech that much. It's like, oh yeah, so what you gotta find is this really simple modifier called maximum total energy shield recovery per second from Leech. It's a simple little modifier. Leech is, I think Leech needs I understand why it works the way it does and how it works, but Leech does need, I think they could get away with simplifying it. It is so you have to watch a 10-minute video on it to understand how it works. Increased maximum total energy shield recovery per second from Leech has been improved on passive tree. So ES Leech is now stronger with investment. Got it. The words do exactly what they say. Okay, so if you put it all together, you get 40% ES recharge rate per second with Wicked Ward. 66% without. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah, yes, yeah, CI may be more compelling again. But I mean, don't forget that using a Shavs and just going low life is still there. It's still on the table. And with auras being stronger, right? Then we get the ailment immunity with a purity of elements. You throw on a Shavs, and then you just reserve with arrogance support. You could just do arrogance support with your purity of elements, and boom, you're done, right? You're done with that. That could be just like a quick little throwaway thing to start putting your build together. All right. Chevron's bases will have the 20% variations too. Oh, yeah. The question is, will that affect uniques? That is a very good question. That is a very, very good question. All right. Builds wanting to invest in both ES and Energy Shield rely heavily on Ghost Dance, requiring them to be a trickster. Give everyone access to Ghost Dance as a keystone? What? 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 All right, let's double check the exact wording of Ghost Dance. So everyone gets Ghost Shrouds? Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you don't get the stun immunity, but every 2 seconds gain, when hit, lose a Ghost Shroud. Cannot recover ES to above ES rating. We're still deciding on a specific value. The Trickster Ascendancy will be changed. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. That's all right. I mean, they did it wrong with Wicked Ward, right? They pulled Wicked Ward out of Occultist and turned it into like unpickable. In my opinion, it was unpickable. People like when I saw a build that used Wicked Ward, before today, I was just like, why are you doing that? But now, this is interesting. Builds wanting to invest in both armor and ES have no mechanic that gives us synergy. Adds a Keystone passive skill. And add more hybrid passives to the Templar section. Okay. Divine Shield. Divine Shield. Percentage of total physical damage prevented from hits recently is regenerated as ES per second. Holy cow. That has the potential to be insane. Holy cow. That has the potential to be bonkers. Oh my god. Yeah, Mana Guardian's back on the menu. Guardian with that? Like, he already doesn't die. Now he doesn't die twice. I mean, they hurt Memory Vault, right? But like all the numbers on the gear are way higher. The numbers everywhere else are higher, right? So it might still be okay. The shadow area of the tree has no defense against damage over time. Yep, that's the main reason I don't like playing Assassin. Like when you're playing Assassin and you just you just run over a little patch of burning ground and you just fall over and die. I use Soul of Abrath all the time when I play Assassin. Improve life regen on gear and add a new keystone between Witch and Shadow to heavily dampen the initial impact. Greatly enhanced flat life regen modifiers on gear to be closer to 3% of an expected character life at their level. Percentage-based life regen has been removed from non-unique equipment modifiers. New keystone, Lathe Shade. Take 75% less damage over time if you start taking damage in the past second. Wow. 100% more duration of ailments on you. So you want to get ailment immune, but you can, there's a lot of ways to deal with that. All right. What's up, Palm? We're just reading through the manifesto. Oh, reduced duration will still trump it. Yeah. That is a more, isn't it? Okay. Death's Oath League, by the way. Yeah. You don't. This downside is not a big deal. It's not scary, actually. Right, and there's a lot of stuff that's damage over time that's not an ailment, right? So running over desecrated ground, burning ground, anything that's like burning, stuff like that, right? So you can become effectively ailment immune, and you don't care about the duration for like the few things. Like if you're already like ignite immune, like who cares, right? Or poison immune. Okay. A few specific mechanics grant a lot of life regen, especially with endurance charge stacking. But for many other sources, life regen is not very powerful. Yep. Remove various sources of life regen per endurance charge or lower their values. Review effects that give life recovery rate and high values. Add new passives in the strength area of the tree that grant life regen. And one sort. Okay. Shadow attackers don't have a form of life recovery that they excel at. What is a shadow attacker? Oh, a shadow that uses attacks. Got it. What's a shadow attacker? Is that a new enemy in the game? While almost every other core character has a signature special recovery method. Other reason I don't really like playing shadows. Add new passive skill clusters to the shadow area of the passive skill tree, allowing investment in a combination of life on hit, life on kill, and life leech. This also includes a source of maximum total life recovery per second from life leech in the shadow area of the passive tree. Witch and shadow casters don't have an accessible form of life recovery. Add new passive skill clusters in the area of the passive skill tree, allowing investment in life on kill and recouping a portion of damage taken as life. Oh, interesting. More info on the passive tree. Okay. Like investing in life on kill, huh? It's really good. I just couldn't care less about life on kill. Unless more bosses just have ads constantly. I don't know. Block is a pretty fundamental form. I care about bossing so much. It's hard for me to ever, like, if life on kill, if it was literally like get 10,000 life on kill, I could not care less. I mean, I guess at a number like that, mapping would be a joke, but yeah, it's just like, block is a pretty fundamental form of defense available to characters. Seeing is available on shields, but the Gladiator Ascendancy is far more efficient because of Versatile Combatant. True. That grants as much spell block as they have attack block. That's a problem. Give everyone access to a weaker form of Versatile Combatant as a Keystone passive and replace the Gladiator skill. Also improve how much block chance, spell block chance you can get from other sources. Okay. So they want to pull like this specific really good defense in certain ascendancies. They want to make those generic. And like what is an ascendancy anymore after they make all these changes? Is the here we go. Conspiracy theory. What if they're pulling all of these things out of the ascendancies? Because then they want to like delete or neuter the ascendancies that we have right now to make the PoE 2 ascendancies look better or have value, / just remove the PoE ones eventually anyway. Anyway. Right, because if we saw the ascendancy trees for PoE 2, they were like, they kind of look like Diablo 2, which honestly kind of mega turns me off. But, sorry. You would still have the passive tree. The ascendancy tree is its own little branching funny thing. It's more like World of Warcraft, like more like early WoW is what the ascendancy trees look like in PoE 2. So maybe this is like them moving us towards dramatically changing what ascendancies look like, and they just want to pull out the things that they find interesting, put them on the tree, and then the ascendancies will just get full gigantic reworks to look like brand new like branching trees later. Possible. All right. Yeah, Trickster needs a rework real bad, man. All right. Versatile Combatant is now a Keystone passive, grants plus 2% chance to block the spell for each 1%. overcapped. Oh, weird. That is way weaker. Also grants minus 25% chance to maximum chance to... Okay, so you can actually hit the overcap by nerfing... Oh. Yo, block. Max block Glads are shaking in their boots. Okay. Oh, but this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna give... Yeah, they're gonna give it... Maybe give it lucky. Cute. Okay. So he'll give him lucky, like if... Lucky can basically like hard counteract this downside. Wow. This means if you have a 75, it goes down to 50. So then you can overcap it and then... Interesting. More access to spell blocks has been added to Templar and Witch sections. The suffix modifiers that grant attack and spell block on shields have been improved. Okay, so you can get more now. But do note that, they are looking at making those suffixes more desirable modifiers, right? So we have to be very, very careful about like how contentious are all of these suffix modifiers going to be now? Is it going to be hard? Is it going to be harder to hit the modifiers that you want? Previously, prefixes can't be changed, reforged, whatever. Bam, 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 bada bing, bada boom, you're done, right? Now, finishing the suffixes on item might be a major yikers, right? Unless, they give us more reforge modifiers, stuff like that. Do they give us more ways to craft our items, or is this going to be complicating things? All right. We'll be making further changes like Bone Offering. Wow. Necromancers are in shambles. All right. The pool of modifiers available on shields. Yeah, Nikos, that's kind of what I'm thinking too, right? If you go low life, you go shavs with Purity of Elements, and then you don't have to worry about your suffixes as much. You can get other suffixes. It's possible. Previously on Path of Exile, the pool of modifiers available on shields includes some values that are too low or aren't relevant. Remove irrelevant modifiers. Yeah, rolling a shield's a pain in the butt right now. There's so much garbage on it. Modifiers such as chance to block projectile, avoid stun. Oh, thank Jesus, really. Increase global fizz damage. That's not a bad modifier. Global elemental, global attack, flat mana gained on block. Blah 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 blah. I guess the increased global fizz is kind of a low value, right? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Offhand shields. Good to know what we're looking at, right? Global physical damage. Where is that? Increased global fizz. It's only a crafted mod, huh? 16%. Yeah, no one's ever gonna do that. Okay, fair. It's really only a crafted mod. Okay. All right. All right. Increase cast speed. Armor-based shields. Okay. As mentioned, modifiers such as block chance have been significantly improved. Now it goes up to 16%, and spell block goes to 15% at its highest tier. That's good. I think right now it's like, what, 8 to 10-ish? That's a gigantic boost. All right. A few impactful modifiers to specific shields. Armor-based shields can now roll high values of reduced extra damage taken from critical strikes, going up to 60% reduced extra damage from critical strikes is real big, right? That means you're taking, right? A critical strike is only adding 40% damage. That's huge. 8% physical damage reduction, 100 life gained on block. Evasion-based shields can get a chance to suppress up to 34%. Ooh. 480 accuracy, really, on a shield now. All evasion-based shields. Okay. ES-based can get faster, 66%. Yeah. And, all energy shield-based. Ooh, okay. All right. That means there's nice shields out there. This is cool. This is cool, right? If we look at the hybrid shields, we look at Dex Intelligence shields. There's some really cute ones. 4%. What are they going to do with you? 4% dodge? Never mind. This is this is gone, right? Or does this stay? What do they do with this? Does it get a natural spell suppression? I bet you, right? But you know, this is now right. Think about this. You get ghost shrouds, right? You get ghost shrouds, and you use the Supreme Spiked Shield for probably spell suppression, or just you'll keep this spell dodge. What happens to the attack dodge? Does this turn into just more evasion, right? But this spell dodge might still be there, or it might just be spell suppression or something, right? But now you have access to a wider variety of shields. Very, very cool. I like it. I think that's a good change. All right, as a defense, blind was very good. It felt mandatory for all characters. All right, calm down, hardcore. Calm down, hardcore players. Make blind synergize with evasion so that it's more powerful only if you have built a very evasive character. Ooh, flesh and stone abusers are in shambles. The power level of the new blind is significantly lower than before, but has more opportunities if you want to specialize in it. Blind now causes targets to have 20% less accuracy and evasion rating. This makes it so blind is of no defensive help to characters that have no evasion, but helps if you do. It has an offensive component, like if you wanted to lower the evasion rating of evasive milestones to make it easier to hit them. Blind effect, so it's also kind of only for attacking characters. Blind effect is now available on the passive skill tree if you want to invest in this further. Saboteur that's tied to blind is being reviewed, and Flesh and Stone is being changed. Yep, called it. Because Flesh and Stone blinded nearby enemies, it was incredibly popular. The changes to blind have reduced its power. So now characters may be missing blah, blah, blah. Reduce the cost of it and change Tempest Shield so that it is a similarly powerful defensive reservation effect alongside Arctic Armor and Flesh and Stone. The intent is that there are 3 competing defensive reservation effects that you're able to pick between or use together. Flesh and Stone is back to 25%. Tempest Shield is now 25%, that provides a large amount of spell block as well as an immunity to shock. It still has the property of shooting out lightning on block, and the damage has been significantly buffed. Okay. I'm just gonna replace, like, so this is what I do with my Bane build. I just replace Arctic Armor with Tempest Shield, and then I just change my flask from shock to freeze. That's just what I do. Just spell block and immunity to shock all the time. It's pretty good. All right. Fortify is intended as a defensive benefit for being a melee character, but can often be obtained by spellcasters using melee weapon types that don't actually engage in melee combat. Change the Fortify mechanic so its effective is based on your melee damage. None of this affects anything I would ever do. We're experimenting with a system now. Less Fortify applied based on melee damage dealt, so that a tiny little melee damage hits don't provide a full strength Fortify. Oh man, Frostblade shaking in their boots. This will mean that you'll be able to introduce a chance to gain Fortify and hit on passive skills or items. But we're working on a system where every spellcaster wants to run shield charge. Yeah. Our eventual goal here is that all melee characters keep Fortify, while spellcasters in range don't have access. Or being a champion. Yeah, so I mean we're looking at like hybrid stuff is looking crazy. I think they accomplished their goals. It feels like they accomplished their goals, right? So you know their overarching goal, just way too big. Their overarching goal, right, that they said was dodge and blind provide more mitigation for fewer passive points than any other defense type. Let's fix that. And that's the top level change, right? And they wanted to make all of the stuff accessible for everyone else. And it looks like they did that. I think it's going to do a lot of stuff for build diversity, at least like in the meta scale of looking at builds of the builds in the past and what we're going to be looking at in the future. There's going to be a lot more experimentation. I think the ability for stuff to do really cool hybrid stuff. So like when they said, oh, we're adding the armor, was it armor ES stuff to Templar? I'm thinking, yo, can Jug do something nutty with that? Could you do like an armor ES thing with Jug? And then he is just like actually immortal? I don't know. There could be some. Not that I would want to play it, but I think you're gonna see some really cool travel points that people grab, and some really cool thing happen. Yeah, I think it's okay. Like there's always broken builds in everything, right? That's like the beautiful thing. That is why, in general, I really like GGG's balancing philosophy. Is they generally don't do the wet noodle thing. Like I know 3.15, a lot of stuff got really suppressed, but when they give us new stuff, like they give us toys and they just say go crazy, right? Like you know what? You got your Legos, you got your Play-Doh, you know, you got your ball pit, and you got, hey, guess what? Oh, we left a flamethrower in. Whoops, little Timmy's got a flamethrower. That's okay, no big deal. That's okay. Oh no, little Timmy's got a flamethrower. We'll let him play with it for 3 months. And then we take away little Timmy's flamethrower. The big thing is blind is really bad. Blind is useless if you're not a evasion character, and dodge got removed from the game effectively. And and then they just fully reworked how armor, evasion, and energy shield work, and how they integrate with each other, which is the interesting thing to me. You know, they're making it more exciting, more enticing you to actually do hybrid defenses with ES, evasion, and armor by actually like giving you keystones to make it work, by moving modifiers from like ES only or evasion only and doing like hybrid stuff. So you can get spell crit on a dexterity intelligence base, right? So you can have different base shields for spellcasters, stuff like that, which I think is really cool.